I'm Sam, and this is Amazing Travels. Week 2, I find myself currently sitting in my friend's guest room in Berlin, but before that, I got to spend a few more days in London, which was extremely epic. A few things I noticed about London was that basically anywhere you look, there's a piece of history, nice architecture, or a Five Guys. I'm not kidding, there's a Five Guys on every corner. I've never seen this happen anywhere other than there, not even the US, which was kind of funny. Other than that, though, there was a lot of interesting things to look at, which I did plenty of. Something else that you gotta know when you're going to London, I don't know if this is all of England, but almost everywhere is cashless, which I thought was fantastic. I could pay like for anything with my phone or my credit card. It was absolutely splendid. Not so splendid, Alex and I decided to check in at the airport for our flight to Berlin, and we got put on standby, so we were sweating it for about an hour before they cleared us to fly, which was really important because the real big reason we're coming to Berlin is for a friend's wedding. Thankfully, we made it and all is well, and the wedding was absolutely fantastic. We literally partied for over 15 hours, which you'll see a lot of right here in the Week in Review. First major site I saw this week was Piccadilly Circus right here, which was built in 1819, and it's a famous street junction, home to major shopping and entertainment. It's in the West End. I don't know how fancy that is, but it sounds fancy. I also just started walking towards Trafalgar Square, and I saw this theater of Royal, whatever the heck it just said, and this is Her Majesty's Theater, which is a little more ornate and pretty cool. Something I found pretty awesome was they've converted some of these telephone boxes into Wi-Fi hotspots. Anyway, now we are at the mall, which leads you down to the Arc. Now not me getting run over. And for the shot. The mall runs from Buckingham Palace to the Admiralty Arch, and it passes through this nice park, St. James. This arc, fun fact, was commissioned by King Edward VII in memory of his mom, Queen Victoria. I really like this architecture on the side of it. Truly impossible to get a nice shot of anything with all the traffic and the people, but this is Trafalgar Square. Super busy. Trafalgar Square, which I find really hard to say, has been around since the 1800s, and it's been used for community gatherings and demonstrations like Bloody Sunday. Ooh, goodness. This is the National Gallery, I believe, what we're looking at, and you've got a bunch of fountains spewing out water, and of course, just a nice surrounding, and a bunch of tourists, of course. Behind me is London's smallest police station. It's right here on Trafalgar Square, and it's literally like a little tiny tower. Maybe one person fits in it. A grown-ass man, not even sure. That's it, right there. I'm in front of Charing Cross Station. It's beautiful. There's a hotel here called the Claremont. Just look at that. Very ornate. Next stop, lunch at a place called Dishoom. It's an Indian restaurant that was recommended by multiple people. Your girl is not playing naan, basmati rice, raita, that delicious watermelon drink, and mutton. The flavor was fantastic. Could have been spicier though. Literally, if I eat one more bite, I'll have to go to the hospital. This food coma is real. Just look at my eyes. They're glossy. As it is with London, I'm just walking to my next destination, and a lot of pubs, a lot of shops, super cute. We're peeping Big Ben right there, front and center. We love to see monuments honoring women. Approaching Parliament Square, which has plenty of goodies for us to see. Big Ben is over 96 meters high and 12 meters square. There are 11 floors and 399 steps to the top. Right now, they are working on restoring the clock, so we can't actually go inside. Another view of Big Ben, and now listen to the bells coming from St. Margaret's Church. The bells were going off like crazy because there was actually a wedding going on, and let me tell you that St. Margaret's Church forms a part of World Heritage Site along with the Palace of Westminster and Westminster Abbey, which we are looking at. Since the coronation of William the Conqueror in 1066, all English coronations of all the monarchs have taken place right there. And now we are kind of in the back of the Abbey. I think it was private property, but somehow I got in. It's called Dean's Yard. Surrounding Big Ben is the Palace of Westminster, which is home to the UK Parliament. And it's right on the River Thames. As you can see, the sun was shining. It was a beautiful British day. So I said, "Ugh, see that London Eye right there? I'm going to take a walk on the South Bank to get over to the Tower Bridge." When all of a sudden, I started talking to this guy, and he's like, "Why don't you hop on the ferry and go there?" And I was like, okay, this is him. That guy's Paul. That's Cleopatra's Spire that is thousands of years old. It is the oldest thing in London. Right there. It was a gift from the Egyptians. It's not an official tour boat, but the crew does give you a lot of info. I know I chose to get on this boat, but I forget I get seasick. They point out points of interest like St. Paul's Cathedral.
It's the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world. The largest is on St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican.
Overall, highly recommend this boat tour. It's kind of part of the city's travel network, so I got a discount for having my travel card with me. Now we are approaching the Tower Bridge. Construction started in 1886 and it took about 8 years to complete, and it's one of London's most famous bridges. And it is right next to the Tower of London. It is a historic castle that was built in 1078, and it's been a residence, a prison, a treasury, the Royal Mint, and more. It's also where the crown jewels are kept. BRB, gonna go get my crown. Step off, Charles. Ah, the London Eye. At 443 feet tall, it's one of the world's largest Ferris wheels and Europe's biggest. So you wait in line, or you can get the fast track pass like I did, and you really don't wait any time at all. And then you get this pretty good view of most of the city. I think on a clear day like mine, I got lucky, but honestly, I don't know if it's worth the $45. Fun fact, the London Underground map used to be to scale until it got too freaking huge. Another day, another lunch. Poppie's fish and chips recommended. And it's not just Poppie's, it's poppin'. Obviously, it's famous for fish and chips. It actually won the national award. I don't know when, though, but I decided to get the seafood platter, because why not try everything? Super fresh and crispy. The only thing I'm not messing with are these anchovies. It's just not for me. Why do they have to be so cute, though? Absolute best toilet brand I've ever seen. Ready for it? It's called Crappers. I had to check out Camden Town, which you're looking at right now. It is a hub of counterculture, punk rock, and hippies. It's also home to Camden Market, an indoor-outdoor shopping place. Look who's with me! Kat and I studied abroad in Australia together, and she is now a Londoner, so we were just hanging around looking at the shops. And then we started to wander, which is how we found this St. Martin's Garden, which used to be Camden Town Cemetery. It's the weirdest thing. Do you see all these gravestones? They just cleared the cemetery and threw the gravestones there. I mean, I would not want to be the one upsetting those dead. On to lighter things. We went to Primrose Hill, which doesn't seem like that much of a hike, but kinda. I'm out of shape. You're not even breathing hard.
I've been up hills. That's what it is.
Tell me you're in England without telling me you're in England. That lady just poured herself a cup of tea right there. Brilliant, though, because this was a fantastic idea for sunset. Primrose Hill gives you a nice view over Regent's Park and also just London and the city and beyond. Ended my night at a fancy gallery installation with Alex. Ooh, shiny. Next, we are moving on to Hyde Park. Right there, you see the Marble Arch, and we are right now looking at Speaker's Corner, where open discussion and public speaking is allowed. Karl Marx, for example, spoke there, among others. This park is ginormous, but as always, well signed. And I was walking through it when I just see a family hitting this tree. I had no idea what was going on. And then they told me, chestnuts. Oh, they're spiky. Now I know why they were using stakes. You also have to step on them to get them out. Interesting. People very much enjoying the space of Hyde Park, which is about 350 acres and home to a lot of wildlife species. You also have a memorial to Princess Diana, which is really nice here. It's an oval. You can wade your feet and hands in it, and it's just really nicely done. A lot of people were there. Does it get any more British than that? I don't know. Children on horses? In a park? Public? Wow. This is the Albert Memorial, commissioned by Queen Victoria because she loved her late husband. And it is, wow. That is in Kensington Gardens, just like this Kensington Palace, which is the birthplace of Queen Victoria, and she lived there till she became queen. Princess Diana also lived there, and it's now the official residence of the Prince and Princess of Wales. You can find this memorial, also dedicated to Diana, right in front of it. Nice, beautiful garden. You can't actually go in there, but you could walk around the little arch you saw, and there are these pretty flowers you can see with bumblebees. Today we reserve for history. Like these lovely blue plaques, which can be found throughout London on various buildings telling you who lived there and why they were important. And now we go on to the British Museum, which is completely free to enter. And the way a Londoner described it to me, it's basically a great place you can go to see a bunch of stuff that the British Empire stole from other civilizations. I thought that was pretty funny, but they actually have a lot of great collections. We've got crocodile armor here, which is basically what every Floridian wears, you know, just the alligator version, so not really a big deal that it's from like the year 4 AD. Museums make me thirsty, so I went to this pub I was recommended. Fail, I should have checked opening times. The pub doesn't open for an hour. Does that make me an alcoholic, or just like a go-getter wants to do things and see stuff? I didn't just wait there, I wandered around and I found the Royal Courts of Justice, which you're looking at. It opened in 1882 by Queen Victoria, and the court is still held there today, which is super cool. This inner courtyard, beautiful. So funny story about this pub that I was waiting at, the Cheshire Cheese. It's supposed to be a 500-year-old pub, except I was at the wrong one. I needed to come to this one, ye oldie Cheshire Cheese. And I found my friend Amanda. Well, more like she told me, you better find me in this maze. And now I see why this is the 500-year-old pub, because look at that. I found you! After a few pints, we went to Chinatown for dinner. It was delicious. And then we went to this arcade bar, met up with some friends. Pretty sweet. The flight we almost missed because we didn't check in time. Lesson learned, always check in the night before because they're allowed to put the last people on standby.
I love boarding a plane like this. Makes me feel like the president.
Any words for Sasha and Julia before they even know it?
Good luck.
The day began early, around 1:30, at a church ceremony among family and friends. We had the whole very cute church bell thingy going on and people watching from the street. David, der Brezelkönig. The wedding couple organized a boozy boat ride to the venue suite.
But this is David. It's his first beer.
It's his first beer? What language are we talking?
First beer. Ja, Bitburger.
Bitte ein Bit.
Bitte ein Bit.
But
Okay.
make it real.
Please and please. Bitte ein Bit.
Warte. Boat ride, but make it fun.
You're the worst. After about an hour, we arrived. Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I have had nothing to drink.
Uh-huh. There were classic things like wedding games and cake cutting and log sawing. This was super fun to watch. And of course, there was first dancing. Du bist voll oder satt?
Beides. Beides.
Hey babe, I think you need an espresso. You look tired.
I am tired.
I was up until 5 a.m.
No excuses, Alex. It's wedding day, and the groom has asked us to do a shot of Flaming Jagd with him, which is basically like a Jägermeister. It is a little rough if you don't like this kind of stuff. Shule was struggling a little bit, but we made it happen, and it was actually quite easy drinking. There was a photo booth, which, of course, there's the photo booth, and there's a reality shot. Yep. Then there was dancing, or whatever this is. We ended with some sentimental dancing and hugging dancing, and then there was the walk home with my hurting feet. Alex is a pata sucia.
You bitch. At least the way it sucks.
He couldn't take it and had to take off his heel.
It's so true. Oh my god, I'm so weak. Oh, shit. These heels.
Caught you red-handed.
Yeah, they're awful. Oh my god.
Not as comfortable as
Wait a second.
not as comfortable as my shoes.
What's the real issue? My shoes don't fit. Anything for my love.
I really just couldn't anymore with those heels, and he let me borrow his shoes, but they were not easy to walk in. Also, I looked a little bit like a psychopath.
What a clown.
Mind you, I was wearing those heels for 15 hours. 15.
Alright, you're also wearing my jacket and it's cold.
You're such a gentleman.
I got nothing. I'm lucky I have this fucking coat.
Hello, Tommy.
To continue following my adventures, please like, comment, follow, share, do all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys next week. From somewhere totally different, by the way.